Hello, hello, how are we today? Lori from Fluid Acrylics by Artler, so happy you're here. And if you're new, thanks for tuning in. So today, Patreon challenge from Karen from Waterfall. I have not done a dustpan pour in probably 4 or 5 years maybe, and I only think I've done 2 or 3. So this should be quite a challenge. So I'm ready for it though. I have just used up a bunch of colors that I had sitting out with floetrol, and I thought, you know what, I'm just going to use them up. I don't really care about the color palette at this point because we're just going to make it work. I was not, I didn't really want to make up a whole bunch more because I really hate throwing paint away. And so I diluted a couple to create some different tones. And I thought, you know what, we'll just make it work. We're going to make it fun. We're going to have fun with the challenge and see how I do. And who knows, maybe I'll do another dustpan pour or maybe not. We shall see. So anyway, without any more jibber jabber, let's get down to the canvas and for sure, let's make a mess. I know that's going to happen. I'll get you down. Okay, so here is my little board here. I've got it sitting on some plastic that comes on a canvas because this was all white and I didn't want the white to get onto the black. This is actually still somewhat damp, but that's okay. I dried it up with my blow dryer, so we shall see. This is just a little cute dustpan. And it had a little brush that came with it. I have no clue where that went. But I thought, hey, why not? Dustpan pour, we're using a dustpan. Now, I am going to probably do it from this angle because, well, we'll see. I don't know. Yeah, I'm going to load it up, though, with quite a bit of color. I'm going to use every single one of these. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I'm going to use them all and we'll see how we do. Okay. When you do have your paints laying around, it is a really good idea to take them. I'm going to set this over here so I don't bloop on it. It's a really good idea to take them and put them through a strainer. Stir them up really well. And then strain them into a fresh cup. Learn from my mistakes. I have not done that for a couple of my straight pours, and they dry. The image is gorgeous, but there's little bits sticking up that was in the bottom of the cup, and I didn't see it and didn't notice it until it was dry. So that is a bummer. This is just white, and I just kind of wanted to start out with a little bit of white because that will give it just a little bit of a pillow to sit on. I'm going to turn it this way so I see better what I'm doing. All right, so let's see here. I think we're going to start out with, and you know what, I don't even know what some of these colors are, so we're just going to wing it. I want to say that this one here, I'm going to borrow a stick. I want to say that this is burnt sienna. And so we're going to, I'm going to move my stick out of there though. We're going to start with some burnt sienna. And I'm just going to do a cute little puddle right there. And then we're going to do some black. Throw in some black. And let's see here. I think next, and again, I have no clue what this is. It's kind of like a magenta of sorts, like a medium magenta. So we'll do that. And then, I really want to add this orange, even though I know it's close to the black, but that's okay. Okay, so there's my orange. And then This is a blue. I have no idea what this is, and I'm so sorry, but you know, this is just an experiment, and it's fun. It's a challenge, and we can just kind of wing it as we go. Silver, I do know that. Now, I am going to grab something over here. Let's see, that's a little bit too much. Oh, I just got paint all over me. I know, I'll grab my spoon. And I'm going to do this, just so that stays in the dustpan. I don't want it coming out yet. So there's my silver. What color have I not added? Oh, I know. I'm gonna take my stick out because it's easier to pour without a stick in there. This is a lighter blue. I want to say that one of these might have been a cerulean blue. Not real sure. Okay, so now let's do some black. Don't want to do too much black because that will really take over. And then we're going to do this pretty magenta. Oh, I love when these puddles come about because they are just so pretty. And then I am going to add some white because then that will lift it up, brighten it up a little bit, make it a little bit more pale. Let's do some of this burnt sienna, and it'll do the same for that. And then we're going to do, ooh, I know, we'll do this light blue next to that burnt sienna because that would be really pretty. Okay, and then let's just do some darker blue right next to it. And we'll do some orange. Oop, a little bit too much there, but that's okay. All right, let's do some of this. I hope I can get this nice and full because that would be wonderful. Let's throw in some silver. So far, so good. Look, it looks kind of fun. I wonder if we could do, no, I think if I add, oops, I almost knocked that whole container over of the magenta. Oh my Lord above. I feel like if we added the black next to the silver, we would get a gray, and I do not want gray in here. Let's do the darker blue. Okay. We can do some more orange.
And then, let's do a little bit of this. And then we're going to do some of this. There we go. Let's do the light blue. A little bit of white. And then lighten it up even more.
I noticed that in my other pours, though, I did my puddles way too big. And that seemed to, when I didn't, you know, pour, I pulled too much as opposed to lifting the dustpan up and letting the paint fall on there. I was more flat and level with the dustpan, and then when I pulled it straight, it just stretched everything out. So the last puddle, it just was a long stretch of color. So we don't want to do that. So we need to keep that in mind today. All right, we're going to do a little bit of orange, and then let's throw some silver next to the orange. I hope I'm not creating a horrible color. Who knows? All right, we're going to add some blue. We're coming up to the handle there, so we've got to focus on that. All right, I think we've got enough, actually. Ooh, yeah, feels pretty good. All right, so let's get this going right there. And then what I want to do is I am going to just put, oh, you can't see me, but I'm going to put a little bit of the white right there. Oh shoot, look what I just did. Good Lord above. There's a hole in the dustpan. All right, so we just do that. Okay. All right, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to plug this hole up, just like that. All right, here we go. Let's try and get this over just a little bit so it kind of all comes out together. We're just gonna let it go natural. There we go. And off the edge. There we go. Woohoo! That's fun. The dustpan looks pretty cool as well. You know, I like this size. I'm going to have to fix that. So let me grab something real quick to fix that area. All right, we've got to turn you just a little bit here. And then I can always touch that up with some more black. But for the most part, I think we're good there. Yeah, and I can touch that up. Oop, I'm making a mess. It's coming off my fingers is what's happening. There, but I'll fix that. I'll touch that all up and it'll be fine. All right, that's really cool. Very psychedelic. I love it. I think it's fun. All right, so let's hope it dries nice. It's a little thick, but you know, if it can dry without cracking, I think it would be really cool to have it really thick. And then maybe what would be fun is to just varnish right around the edges and let the black be shiny and this just be its own entity of color, just kind of having its own thing, and then having all of this just be really shiny next to it. So that might be kind of fun. So yeah, I do need to fix that. It's better than what it was, but that's no big deal. That'll take 2 seconds. I'm going to glue something in there though, so that hole is not there anymore. That way then I can fill it all the way up, and I can even fill the chamber of where the hole is, and then we don't have to worry about that anymore. Oh my gosh, there's always something to remember, right? Yeah, well, this is actually quite cool. So I'm very, very happy with that. Look how fun that is. That turned out super duper cool. All right, so we are good for now. Wish me luck. Send me some drying vibes, no cracking vibes. And we'll be back in a flash with the cash, and we'll show you the dry results. We'll be back. So now I'm kind of confused on which orientation I like better. I think this is kind of cool as well. Decisions. Anywho. Alrighty, so here we are. It turned out so pretty. I'm kind of disappointed though that I didn't do a larger piece. This is 16 by 20, and I to be perfectly honest, I really didn't think I would do this well with the dustpan pour because it's been a hot minute since I've done one. And so, yeah, now that I've done it, I'm like, oh boy, I think I want to do more. And you know, I was thinking of doing a comparison with this and a bloom recipe. This is just floetrol and paint. And I thought it'd be kind of fun to do a bloom recipe with a dustpan pour and kind of see how that would go. Let me know if you think that might be kind of fun to do a comparison. Let's zoom in a little bit. I'm gonna walk in just a little bit here, and then let me see if I can zoom in a little bit better for you. Okay, so here we are. It's really pretty. Now, do you see how the blue in the center there traveled so far down? That's because that was a larger puddle of blue, and when I pull the pan, the dustpan down, it drags that puddle of color, and that's how you get that streak, which is fine, but it kind of just stops abruptly, and that kind of bugs me. But lesson learned. You can't see where I goofed and it was leaking out of the hole of the dustpan. I covered it up, and it covered up quite nicely. And my paints were a little thick, which, you know, I love, you know, my paints thicker. But I feel like it would have stretched out better if they were thinner. It did dry thicker. There's an actual, this here, you can feel it a little bit heavier than here. And another thing, I would have, after I painted this, I would have let this dry for a few days, or weeks, I should say, a good week to 10 days. And then I would have varnished over it. Because then when you spill, if you spill something on it, you can wipe it off a whole lot easier. But it turned out really cute. And I think what I would like to do is varnish just the black. And I think that would be really cool. So that black is super duper shiny. And then you have the cool dustpan pour going down the center of the shine. That way you have, you know, you have kind of a matte look and a shiny look together. I think that'd be kind of cool. So anywho, this was really fun. So thank you, Karen, for the challenge. I loved it. If you haven't subscribed, consider doing so. I would definitely want to do another one of these in a much larger canvas. And hit that like button and thumbs me up. And don't forget to hit the bell as well. That way you get notified when I do a video. And I hope you're all enjoying your day today. Thanks again for joining in. And until that next canvas, see you later. Bye.